Okay, family, welcome to another edition, like I've been of the Then and Now program. Speaking to you this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever in the world you day. This now on a host and presenter, Prince Kroma, coming to you live on a very special platform, on a very special day, on a very special program on the Then and Now. Today, I get a very, very special guest. All day we get special guests then. But this one more special as at this point, Usa will be there. And the issue we want to discuss today is very, very special in many, many respects. And I hope say all man, they get me loud and clear. Make I just tell me guest I do before I introduce them, make sure say there is audio connection between us. Hello, guest. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Well done, the wonderful voice, Dandy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't warm up the floor already. If you be the shake, you be the jack, you be the move, you be the dance, and you understand Sabano 75 with all their name, the way they call Sokoli, Francis, and the rest of it, you know exactly where I'm coming from. On this day, the 16th of May, I want to introduce a brother who studied law in Holland. He specialized in criminal law and international law at the Utrecht University. First of all, I didn't live in Holland. I don't know Dutch, so if I don't pronounce it right, una then Dutch people, una please forgive me. So, thank you very much. Utrecht University School of Law. I also want for everyone to know, say we guest today also holds a postgraduate certificate in law from the UEL in London. That's the University of East London. And most importantly, he wrote his master's thesis on the immunities in international criminal law. You can understand the context here this afternoon, this evening, this morning from where we're speaking from, because the subject of this particular matter is bordered around the man in professionality where I just introduced. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome or join me in welcoming none other but Mr. Mohamed Konuwah Kilo. Mr. Kilo, I hope I pronounced your last name right as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So welcome to the program, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Without much ado, Mr. Kilo, I want to go straight into an article where you write, okay, now a prominent paper online and etc. And that will have been on the 10th of May, 2020. So it's a kind of a recent article.
Yeah. In
that article, the first subject, because there are a couple of things we're going to be discussing, is a young man called Adebayor. And when I can see in picture on the background of me here as we speak, okay? In that article, before I go deep into the question what I want to ask, I want to play on the periphery of the question in the first place. You call the young man a stooge of the All People's Congress, the APC party, where they send gullible, messages to gullible Sierra Leoneans. So first of all, one look at the meaning of a stooge, which come in the noun, in the English language, you come both in the noun and in the verb sort of parts of speech, if you like. But in this case, I believe say you use them in the noun form of speech, if I will be correct on that, first of all, before I go further. So it's a derogatory language, which means a subordinate to something else, an unpleasant, person, a subordinate, a puppet, an instrument. Waiting, I want to take on, and the question I want to ask is, why did you call him a stooge? Have you got any proof as to why you term him to be a stooge?
Well, in the first place, that's a very interesting question. If I use that word stooge, I try to say that when somebody, they use other person for make do things, dirty work. And I think say a very much possible say that he's being used to do the dirty job. Use a stooge for incite people. That's all.
Okay. For what you just say, we go take that for me in the first place an aspersion. You're casting an aspersion because even in the language we go take them for say, they suppose say this could be an aspersion lawyer. Will that be a correct characterization of the language you use at this particular point before we delve deeper, sir?
Hello. 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 Hello.
You hear me now, sir?
Yeah.
My God, man. Yeah, I mean, sorry about that. I mean, the build-up was already there, and then the same thing I've been saying. Let me just see whether we get with people them online, because they just called me for saying you still there online, and you know, I mean, another hear me. So let me just get that quickly. Let's see whether if I establish that. All right. Okay, just bear with me, sir. We're just going to continue. I sure say the program still live. Let me see. We not lost the live feed, and it's not a new feed. Okay. Anyway, we did live. I mean, just one hope say we not miss out the first build up, because we may not build up. We may approach almost 200 people in the chat room, which is heavy and more for multiply. And then suddenly, yeah, can almost want to make you think, you know, you're in a good way. So Famula, wanna bear with me. I will ask my guests for bear with me as well. We'll see whether we're able to establish something. Let's just see if I'm able for, yeah, there we go. We get internet problem right here. Yeah, we are having internet problem right here. Right. I'll play some music whilst we wait and see whether we get contacts. Is established once again. Just give me a thumbs up, please. If you want to get me any guests, just give me a thumbs up, please. Give me a thumbs up. Let me show exactly what I want. Something like this. A thumbs up. Yeah. Miguel, so many newcomers today. Patricia, Fona. If you want to get we live, which means that we are back online, because I see the live feed, but I just want to be absolutely sure so I can continue. Okay, these are the people that we are like Sierra Leone. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. We'll get there. Audience, both when they get me, can you please give us a thumbs up, please? Can you give us a thumbs up? We'll also don't reduce from 181 or 191 to 138, and the program still look like say it is live. Med Mansari, if they get me, can you give me a thumbs up, please?
Yeah.
Okay, there seems to be a problem for you. I think say kilo self the
I hear you.
Come on.
Me hear you. Now you know they hear me.
Oh, okay. No, the different sets have been used. So you hear me. Okay. So back again to the audience. If you can hear me, okay, there's a thumbs up, which means that yeah, we are back live. which is a good thing. Okay, that's good. So we go. Let me just check my background, make sure that this is a live feed. I just checked my background. There's a lot going on. Kilo, let me just see. Yeah, something is wrong. So we're back on the feed. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, good. We are back live. Good news. So straight to the point. Yeah, straight to the point where we were. Okay, there's a delay in the loop. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, it's all set. It's all set now. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies. It's fixed and we're ready to roll. So again, back to you, Lawyer Kilo. I'll just ask a question and I believe say you just address them. But before I go to the core of this interview again, I want to take you on one particular thing again, beginning to Usai I just left off. In other words, we want to establish words because dictum, in this case, does really matter. One of the things that we just address is a stooge, you just address them, and the question what being asked is, it sounded more like an aspersion rather than something, you really, but as a lawyer, probably not that you will try for develop. So I mean, just want to get that understanding there.
Well, really, I don't explain to you what I mean by that. And I think, say, more go to the main point we'll debate today, because I notice I cast any aspersion. So
okay. If you don't think so, that's fine. I mean, the audience is there. I mean, then go think about that. And we definitely go to waiting we come on today. Trust me, sir. We definitely go in there. So the case here, I almost be one title, which is the long arm of the law, which is Naime Kukanaya. But the first part of Naim Abidi try for deal with.
Yeah, okay.
So can you explain whether, because we look at possibilities on extradition, we come to jurisdiction and treaties and convention. But the man in question, let me try for establish some premise, Mr. Kilo, if you don't mind, Lawyer Kilo.
Yeah.
Has he committed or is he committing any crime?
When you look at most of the video the way it gets, first of all, before I go to that, I'm not in any group. I'm not ever comment in any group. So I'm not be even listen to the audio them. Okay. And until the incidents that happen at Freetown. Yeah. And later people that send audio there to me and video, we to a very large extent, like he was very much instrumental for induce or attempt for induce or for instigate or attempt for instigate. So I decide for write that article for make it, I try for make it no say, for make it come to a sense to say what you are doing is dangerous. It's dangerous for you because the country where you did, the country where they practice universal jurisdiction. So I read an article because people feel say where they in Europe here, they can talk anything and do anything, nothing will happen. I even listened to one of you all the way to say the Queen would do nothing, the King would do nothing, which was wrong. I think na ignorance. So I decided to write that article for me, say, hey, they will do something to you. So if you see the article I write, in fact, I write about if a war breaks out in Sierra Leone, you'll be held accountable. And if they find out this audios, we have seen journalists where they instigate, where they induce people that during the Rwanda war for me to kill a particular set of group. Those people are tried at the Rwanda tribunal. So this was a sort of a warning for say stop. We had a war, Salone. They created special court, and when with this kind of instigation, the way they instigate people there, if anything can happen, Salone, they will hold you accountable for to a very large extent, because you have a very large followers when are the youth, they listen to your audio. And with all this, if a war breaks out in Sierra Leone, they make a try for explain how they go hold you criminally liable. This not for what happen now. I was just explaining if something happens in the future. So I not say that man commits any crime, but it left with the Salon government for me to know if this guy don't commit any crime. If most of the things that way they happen at Salon, if you get hands in that, Salon all day, may they look at him and see which kind of crimes the guy commit, and they go take the appropriate action. Hello?
Yeah, the areas are gone.
Yeah. So I'm not trying for establishing it don't commit crime. I try for establishing in case a war break out in a Salon, how they go hold them accountable.
Okay.
So if ever their problem is what happen at Salon, it don't commit a crime at this point in time, it left for the Salon government for take the action we if for take. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the wider point you need for mixer, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. You also said that for a long time that it don't send audio messages, you know, to gullible Sierra Leonean youths. Okay, so you get a point. So it don't send them video there or messages there where you characterize as inciting. So, lawyer, I want you to talk about, you know, inciting, waiting at inciting, and waiting constitute inciting as opposed to the subject matter, sir. If you will, please.
Inciting is where you through the action, through you things and way to do, way to say, through different means, and then for try for make other people that commit a crime, although possibly you know they even commit a crime. And we see audios. I see audio where it talk without tumor instead it happen. Where it even cause the tumor people it even say now the war does start. So and I tell you point blank say a lot of the youths they listen to this boy. And if it don't come to a time, if this thing not before stop, if for little problems in Salon. And that was why I wrote that article say, hey, the long arm of international justice will attack you if this thing escalates in Salon.
Okay. So you said just don't say a lot of people they listen to them. So if a lot of people they listen to them, there must be cause and effect. You know, yeah, why people and they listen to them. And you mentioned one thing as well. What I want to take up with you, sir, where it's like a particular place where an incident happened when at Tombo. Waiting I notice you say it not be responsible for waiting happen at Tombo, if I understand you well, but it try for you know inject itself into waiting happen at Tombo. But that in itself not make a crime. Does that constitute a crime? Because there was something else where happened.
Yeah. If something happened, if that thing for go out of hand, and then we'll get disturbances, we will be nationwide. We will go out of hand, and people that die and they commit mostly genocide or they commit crimes against humanity, he will be held accountable.
Okay, so basically
under international criminal justice.
So when they come to international criminal justice shortly, but basically this now much more like hypothesis. And it's
no,
like,
not
if
hypothesis.
something, you just use the language, sir.
No,
if something had happened or developed further, which of course, by virtue of which you say not develop any further, so therefore, the question will be, since it not develop further as to what you say, then therefore it amounts to nothing.
Yeah, but if it happen,
yeah.
My article was, if it happened, if that thing went out of hand, it's something happen. Like what happened at Tombo now, it left for the Salon government for me to determine to what extent a criminal liable under Salon law.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's with the government. But you know, things that the government is like waiting happen, because I think there's been a preliminary investigation for establish as to waiting happen. And if we can go by that preliminary investigation, which is out there for the public for see, it's like this was the action will take place now Tombo at the time. They get something for do with people and basic lifestyle, their way of living. You know, that's what developed from a protest. It started as a protest, and this way we need to spell them out. A protest is different from a riot, but it started as a protest and into a riot. And I suppose one of the things the way you say is people then try for infuse themselves or induce themselves, or use one of your terminologies, into things the way they happen, for turn them from one end to the other. But lawyer, let me talk about criminal law for a moment, because I think in a day we go and drive into. Let me establish this premise in terms of criminal law, sir, because what we do know that when we use criminal law or crime per se, in an ordinary language, we know say now when people violate some sort of set norms or rules, they violate them, then therefore there is a punishable action where a state or some design or take.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Because you know to lawyer, I just try and I need to be careful how they thread me part. Okay. But in terms of international criminal law, the man in question live far away, you know, from the homeland. Another country. So talk to the audience about international law within the context of the discussion, please, and the subject matter. If you
every state now is sovereign state, and every state gets jurisdiction for prescribe and also for execute the laws the way they make. That is territoriality. That is what it happen in a country, in a state. You get right for doing. You get right for make laws. You get right for punish people the way they break those laws. And we get something back in international protocol, extraterritorial jurisdiction. That is when you commit a crime. Now, other country, for example, are they Holland or are they UK, I commit a crime. Now, Salon, we're not to England really I commit a crime. They feel the effect of the crime when a Salon. Now, there are a lot of countries where they practice extraterritorial jurisdiction. Extraterritorial jurisdiction means, say, if somebody they na UK and then he commits a crime na Salon, that country will say they get jurisdiction over him for me to try crimes that we commit, especially when are very serious crimes like crimes against humanity, genocide, terrorism, or rape, or genital mutilation, or be it human trafficking. There are countries who they practice extraterritorial jurisdiction over people that will commit that crime in other countries. We're not to. Then we're not to really the country it didn't happen. Oh God, it's a problem here.
It's very serious. Yeah, I think the lawyer is back. I think that the internet service they play up. Lawyer,
Yeah.
you hear me, sir?
I hear you now, but I don't talk, not that you if you hear you say I talk.
Okay, but hopefully the audience, I believe they hear you. But if you can take them from there again, maybe you don't need to say all of it, but just because I think you grabbed the question, but then at the same time I lost you. So yes, if you can go on again, please, because
I just try to say,
yeah,
every state now is sovereign state.
Yeah.
And everything that happen in that country, you as states, now you get control over them. You get control over the laws that they make. You get control over whether they punish or they break those laws.
Yeah.
But because at times people make people not commit crimes, we also
hold on right there. Make I address the chat room. This platform, I must make them clear. And for those of us who've been on this platform before and the one that we continue to come, we never tolerate abuse in any shape, kind, or form. Waiting with the discuss na issues. No attacks, no ad hominems, no abuse. I just want to make them clear. We hate for expel people in the platform because we entertain you now. You view matter, now so other people and view matter. We don't have to be on the same platform, but we can disagree for agree. Henceforth, if anybody abuse the platform, I've been supposed for delegate, some administrators then, where anybody misbehave, you will be immediately expelled from the platform. So please, I appeal to all, let's listen. Let's listen, because there is something that covers every one of us, which is green, white, and blue. But we get with this different disposition then, and we need for entertain each other. At some point we disagree, but at other points we need for agree. For find a way forward. Other than that, we will have nothing left in the middle other than a deep hole, an abyss, where we'll fall down inside it, then we are finished. I hope we get that clear. So please, henceforth, anybody begin for abuse on the platform, we need to tolerate and ask everybody else. This is a decent platform, and we intend for keep them as such. No abuse on me, no abuse on my guests, no abuse on other participants then at the chat room. And please, I monitor them. Anybody abuse, when I just send them to me, I'll delete that person straight away because I've said it. If you're not listening, it's up to you. Because this is a moment of learning. This is a moment for reflection. Lawyer, go ahead, sir. Sorry about that.
Every state now is sovereign state. And when they set up a sovereignty, everything that happen that is a state, you as a state, you get jurisdiction over. You get jurisdiction for make laws and also for punish people that way they break those laws. But there are very serious crimes where people they commit, where other countries they feel say, even though I not get jurisdiction for exercise in other countries, but there are some particular crimes. Crimes against humanity, war crimes, terrorism, genital mutilation, all that things, they are all, a lot of countries don't make a jurisdiction over extraterritorial jurisdiction. So because of this, a lot of countries then, they exercise extraterritorial jurisdiction. By extraterritorial jurisdiction, they mean anything can happen. A crime will be committed in another country. And for example, England will say, I get jurisdiction for try that person, whether the person is British or not. Hence, that person now a resident in this country, or even if not a foreigner or now a British citizen, I get jurisdiction for trial. Mm-hmm. So there is where you have without come for make people that know say, Adebayor, the chances are great that the Dutch government will exercise jurisdiction over him, provided the Salon government able give the proof and go through the right channel for me to really prove to the Dutch government this matter of commits crimes in Salon.
Yeah, 1 minute, sir. Mr. Jallo, you want to contribute to the program, sir?
Yes, sir. Really, I'll get a question for this lawyer, please, sir.
Okay, then just hold your thoughts. The lawyer dip and flow. And as soon as the lawyer, I will ask him at some point if he can. A lawyer, this is just a caller. We say it really gets some question for you. So I don't know whether you're ready for take that question, but you be dip and you flow and are interested in that particular flow. So I don't know whether you're able for hold your thoughts this, sir. And let me hear this man
explain. I think you ask me on which ground way this man commits crime far away, or he do something over in Holland. Which kind of way they go be responsible? I don't answer.
Okay, one minute. Yeah, 1 minute. Mr. Dean Jallo, I will call you right back, sir. Okay, I will call you back. It will flow on something we're very critical to the conversation right now. But I promise you, I will call you back, or you call me back in 5. You call me back in 5 minutes. Okay.
sir.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, lawyer, now so it can be, and we'll be talking earlier on, some calls will come in because you get people that are very interested in the program. As we talk, we get about 230 people at this time they watch them. Hopefully that will multiply and fumble them again and they ask una let we please share this wide and fast so this number will multiply. It's the multiplier effect. 230 of you times 2, that's 460 Sierra Leoneans then, and just imagine it just dividing. We may not agree with the lawyer, but that not mean say we for throw anything, like the kitchen sink at them. Okay, lawyer, you say jurisdiction, does exist in the sense that, there is a possibility that the gentleman in question, Mr. Adebayor, there's a possibility of him being extradited under international law. Did I get that?
We're not cancel extradition.
We're not cancel extradition. So they talk about jurisdiction. Okay.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Jurisdiction, because here we get the principle we say either you prosecute or you extradite. So now we talk about prosecution. What are the chances for him to be prosecuted in Holland? Does the Dutch government have jurisdiction?
Okay. So it sounds more like a question. So the question goes back to you. Does the Dutch government has jurisdiction in this particular case regarding a man whom widely we believe lives in the Netherlands, the subject matter, the country, that we're talking about?
For make a country practice jurisdiction, it look at the connection, the country in connection to the fact and the seriousness of the fact. Dutch government, before 2014, not a practice extraterritorial jurisdiction. So for make somebody with a Holland, for example, it commits a crime at Greece, they not get any jurisdiction over them.
Okay.
But from 2014, before 2014, the Dutch government will the practice active personality jurisdiction, based jurisdiction. That is, if a Dutch citizen commits a crime, now Holland, or he commits a crime against the Dutch embassy or Dutch vessel out of Holland, they get jurisdiction. They never practice passive personality-based jurisdiction. Passive personality-based jurisdiction means you look at the victims and not the offender. So, for example, what did happen at Saloso, or what did happen at any other side, or most in the Gambia, you look at the victims of any crime where they commit. Then you go practice jurisdiction. If, for example, international under the Rome Statute, they practice that jurisdiction. They look at the victims also. That is a passive personality-based jurisdiction. But now Holland also does start for practice that. They look at the victims. But they look at the victims even to the extent that a person who commits crime somewhere against a Dutch citizen somewhere else or against Dutch interests, the Dutch government will get interest because the victim, when a Dutch or when a Dutch vessel, don't make the Dutch get jurisdiction over them. But this not be enough. So when they change the law, they try for look at the domicile jurisdiction. That is a permanent person within a Holland. Well, not really problem they can because the person they talk about, get permanent stay in Holland. So if the law not be changed, well, we'll come to later, the Dutch government will get any jurisdiction over them. Because by the domicile jurisdiction, they talk about, if you then have Holland for 5 years, at least 5 years, then they equate you to a Dutch citizen. Because you get passport after 5 years. So the Dutch government gets jurisdiction over you if you're a permanent resident.
Okay, he's back. the flow of the internet is so temperamental and tuna almost in a lockdown. So a lot of people on the internet, but luckily I think we've got the guest back. So you just continue from Usayi the flow, sir.
Okay. So now the domicile, the jurisdiction they therefore talk about, if you are a permanent resident in Holland, the Dutch government gets jurisdiction over you if you commit any crime in and out. And because a permanent resident,
so even if you're not a Dutch citizen, just by default that you live there, you're resident.
Yeah, no, you're a permanent citizen.
Or permanent citizen. So
a permanent resident.
Okay.
Because now after 5 years of permanent legally stay in Holland, you will get passport. So they equate you with somebody when a Dutch citizen. So if you are less than 5 years in Holland, Dutch government not get jurisdiction over you. So you see, a lot of asylum seekers if they come were not able to get asylum because of the Article 1F of the 1951 Refugee Convention. So in most cases, they're not able to extradite the people there. They're not able to get a state, able to prosecute them because they don't get jurisdiction over them.
Yeah.
But that's changed. How it changed? People are worried. They say, well, people that will go, the impunity will be the order of the day. So the Dutch government tries to say, okay.
Forgive me. I need to understand something, and the audience need to understand something, because it seems like there are two different categories here that we're talking about. One, as opposed from which you just say will mean immigration or immigration laws, and another one, we'll talk about criminality or international criminal law.
They are the same, because then immigration will determine whether you're permanent or you're not permanent.
Okay. Okay.
So the Dutch government decided for talk say, it introduced from 2014 inside the penal code, it say presence-based jurisdiction. So if you are present, if you're not a permanent resident, the Dutch get jurisdiction over you for some crimes where you commit, for some serious crimes against humanity, war crime, rape, genital mutilation. Very funny, eh? Genital mutilation, human trafficking. The Dutch government will get jurisdiction over you. So the fact of the matter is now, this man will talk about a president in Holland.
Yeah.
So based on the presence-based jurisdiction, the Dutch government can able to practice, exercise jurisdiction over him for any crime where he commits in Holland and any crime where he commits out of Holland also.
So let me this lawyer Kilo, okay, because we try to establish the premise of an international criminal law violation, but international law
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Kilo, welcome again. I'm sure you can hear me, sir. Kilo?
Yes, I get you.
I'll show you me, but the internet now in the playoffs. So
I know.
Fine program, and we get a huge audience, and then suddenly it a playoff as such. Let's see whether we're able to take one call quickly. So we go able to maintain the balance again, and that will help with for Fenway bearing, hopefully. That will help with for Fenway bearing, hopefully. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. We just did try for see, okay, the same board and I need to call so back. This board I really want making points. All right. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, not
sir.
Yeah, Kilo,
Yes.
Okay.
No,
not to you. I just asked the man where you get the question for whether he can. So go ahead and make your point. Hang on. Yeah, go on.
Can you go ahead?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. First of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Lawyer, born Sierra Leone, living in the Netherlands. I get a very short question when I put it one. The first question to you, Mr. Lawyer, sir, I want to know whether if we come to Sierra Leone, a democratic country, that's number one. If so, I want to know about those people being killed in this prison while we are sitting here talking about Adebayor and so forth. I want to know whether if that crime is not enough as a democratic country for our president, the head of state and me, plus his ministers, and the head of police, and the head of police, and the head of the military. Is this crime not enough for them to submit their resignation as a democratic country, to resign if we are living in a democratic country? That's my question. And let me put it clear to you, sir. I'm not a member of any of these two parts. I'm a Sierra Leone. People, Sierra Leone. I just have pain for the life that we lose there, those people that die in this prison, waiting for trial in that cell. This is the question for the lawyer, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. The lawyer hear you loud and clear, so we'll give the lawyer a chance for the lawyer to explain. Thank you, Mr. Dean.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess sometimes we will get to that.
What's in your name and who's you call from?
I call from the Netherlands.
Okay, now all the other. Okay, fine. Okay, stay on the line and listen to the lawyer. I hope you listen to other channel.
Okay, because I guess now only 2 minutes, I want to be fast, you know?
Oh, yeah, of course, then you can go, of course. And Lawyer Kilo, they can respond now, yeah? Okay. Lawyer Kilo?
Well, the man they asked me if Salona a democratic country.
Okay. Yeah, so of course that's a guest. You're also the guest. You're not obliged, you know, but I mean, for answer the question, what's in your opinion? I'm sure say you get an opinion, sir.
Yeah, according to
it should be.
Yeah, according to democratic principles, Salona a democratic country. I know we'll go beyond that. And they talk about the people that they killed at prison and this and that. I'm not going to make any comment on that.
Okay. Okay. So the brother cannot make a comment because he not get everything in front of him, and who they kill in prison and the rest of it. But according to what he know, the country is a democratic country. You might have your questions regarding democracy. If you hear me, sir, Mr. Dean, you hear me? Okay, good. The lawyer today, you know, not able to address that one day the way how you they see him or how you go about him. But as far as you know, or two more calls, and then we move on.
Okay.
5 calls now incoming just now, 5.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me listen to what this brother get for say. Poppy Aaron. Yeah, that's Poppy Aaron. Now we hear what he get for say actually, and then we go to Mr. Spain. So Spain, if you're there, you're next on the line, sir. Just hold your line there. Hello, caller.
Hi, good evening, moderator.
Yeah, good evening, sir. And welcome to. I'm sure you want to contribute. Will you say your name and where you're calling from, please?
I'm calling from the United Kingdom, London to be precise. I don't repeat the name. I just get a few questions for the landed lawyer within the panel.
Sure, why not?
Right. The previous caller made a statement in regard, a question in regards to is Salona a democratic state? The response to the lawyer was yes. And then he further asked him for him to make a comment about the prison break, which the lawyer saying, okay, he will make comment over that. So on that note, the lawyer don't even contradict himself to me point of view here. If you say Salona is a democratic state, then Adebayor express your right as a citizen of the state. So, and I want to know if any treaty between the country and the Dutch government say, therefore, extradite somebody like that will express your right. When the man not even able to make clear for we to say what they have in a prison is a right or wrong. So, I don't see no need when the lawyer is on the side for defense or that is just that thing there. To be on point of view, nothing that makes sense in your statement where you give. If you don't say that a democratic state, you know, the man not physically there at the country for cause mayhem at the country. I can't talk now, talk. I can't express your own views.
Okay.
Right? As a citizen of the nation, again, human rights, articulation of human rights act, give me that permission. They have freedom of expression where they make their voice up your opinion. So the lawyer will
just a quick one. I push back a little bit. Of course, you do have your freedom of opinion, your freedom of expression. But you don't say the freedom of expression, then say they get conditions. Whether or not
yes, it limited.
Yeah, whether or not up the moon you day. Everything has got limitations now how you express them. Having said that, I don't mean say whether they express your opinion because you're open to judgment, automatically guilty. I mean just want to confirm that because there are qualifications, on that basis. Anything more you get for say quickly, 30 seconds?
Yeah, so to me, the lawyer not be say any way they talk cannot make any sense to us. We listen at them because based on waiting the previous caller, Mr. Chano or whatsoever, in a very serious question, where did everybody in right?
So because the lawyer not comment on the pandemic road prison break.
So it's a mere waste of time, my brother, probably to be honest with you. Because those people get their own democratic rights, the human rights.
Okay.
He understands.
In the end, you want to know whether any right or treaty between the two countries in terms of extradition.
Well, from your point of view, I don't know who's more wicked, but we don't go to extradite that man don't make any sense. To be honest with you, let the government focus and govern the country. No, I read them. What is the price for talk?
Excuse me, sir. Yeah, you read
yes, sir.
law and art, now technical business. You can read that, you don't understand the technical jargon, so just stop right there. The lawyer himself might be wrong, but now in your profession, Dandy.
Well, I tell us outright.
This now we try to establish that.
I tell the lawyer the outright is wrong on the extradition case. I tell them case when they make any extradite somebody, I can't see for any treaty first. For a certain like, let's say, drug smuggling, as what we call some severe cases, which are not able to measure all at the moment. But those are the cases where anything, and they treat it for them within the 2 states. Okay. So the lawyer let go back, let go be fine.
Okay, Poppy, trust me at the point. The lawyer they hear you loud and clear, and I will repose that question. But I have to move on to the next caller, and I promise you the lawyer will address, a couple of them things they need because you also challenge your jurisdiction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
All right, I guess the lawyer. We just take one more call and then we go to you, lawyer, and you address all of them, as a whole. Then we see what this call. lawyer and Yeri waiting the lawyer get for say. Lawyer Kilo.
Yeah.
There's a lot said there between the last two callers, and obviously your feet is on the fire, figuratively.
I know. But
yeah.
We're not even talk about extradition. We talk about
exactly. If people can just if people can just exercise patience, what would you talk about here?
I not say if we talk about extradition, Jason, it will call back. It will tell me thank you.
Okay, let me take this call here quick here. Now this guy when he call, let me hear you take. All right, hold on right there, caller. Hold on. Oh dear. So what's going on now? Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yeah, well, good evening, or good afternoon, or good day, everyone, with the watching program. Me, now, Victor Spain, and I call from United Kingdom. Yeah, well, a question I get for we humble guest tonight, and sir, good evening, sir. I get a question for you. We quite recently we don't see one lawyer in our UK will say it put in a case against the government to be specific against the president for human rights abuses. Me actually not a lawyer and me not get any legal background. No, I be the question myself and I be the question some of me compatriots will be the argument na social media. The argument was that there must be a threshold for make ICC take any case seriously. Although my compatriots may say there is a case for the government and the president for answer to for alleged abuses with the Apple in Sierra Leone, but on the other hand, maybe they argue on the contrary, say the threshold actually minimal because my own point of view in take now places like Kosovo, places where we get genocide, where some people will take clearly take part pandemic genocide and they emerge free because for some reason or the other, the evidence against them not be really stack up. So, sir, I really want to make you explain to me tonight whose kind stand this lawyer, chance this lawyer get to be government national extradited for human rights abuses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. These are some people Mohamed because part of this program. We will try to round up the Adebayor thing quickly.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yes, the lawyer definitely will address that even if we are. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
You're welcome. Yeah, I will go follow on Facebook.
No. Okay, let me move on to another caller quickly, lawyer Konuwah. Let me see what this other sister get for say. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Hello, this is Janet Matamusa.
Okay, Sister Janet, you are live on the Janet program. I don't know, there's a contribution, there's a question, there's a statement, there's a thesis, there's an hypothesis, whatever, the floor is yours, please.
Well, okay, thank you very much, Prince, and thank you very much, Konuwah, for being on the program. I feel to say, what I want to say to everybody, that for me, Konuwah will listen to the lawyer, make it explain what he can I ask for. You know, he talks about the question is, can the Netherlands extradite Adebayor? You know, so when I forget the chance, make it lay a case And after I make that case there, una now go after and ask whether, whether it's satisfied, because there is a law about this situation. And I really left the lecture where this man did. He's not saying it can be. He's not making a statement from his own thinking. He used the law for trying to educate the one we want for know as to whether Adebayor can be extradited to Sierra Leone. It talks about jurisdiction. And the lesson that we get tonight, Mr. Stephen, I don't read law before. I learned a lot tonight because I didn't study international law. So I go to the course and they say this, a fake lawyer. Unless you have gone to law school, you really would appreciate what this man lecture tonight. So, Prince, what I want to say is that the question where the caller they asked them, and I am really happy. Professionally, he refused to answer them because that is not the subject he's here to answer. Fantastic, thank you. Anything we get for do with human rights abuse for Sierra Leone, let that be addressed to a member of SFPP government. This man is just a simple human being who believes that Adebayor activities that the Netherlands can, if it's not warned, because I want just a warner. For say, if everything happens, a lot of Sierra Leoneans are only listening to whether they argue. They don't really understand what's an incitement. If unlawful behavior from your communication, something happened as alone through what's in the state, he would be held liable. Now, this was so on what the type of expense of that was say, and all the audio that we did, this is just a straightforward advice. If you watch the listen to this audio, it amounts to activities in Sierra Leone, what person died in, you can be held responsible. So I think to say, Adebayor really for begin to look back and say, let me be careful and make an audio. Let the audio not include communication words where it amounts to unlawful behavior. So I want to say to everybody that is read, let we only say, let we learn, and then we can let this platform and go and forward with all the audio. We hope that we stand the lack between provoking unlawful behavior in Sierra Leone and making a meaningful contribution to nation building. Thank you very much, Prince, and thank you, Konuwah, for being there, for your patience, for being professional. I mean, that's what this law business is all about. Matter how that goes, you go to be professional. Thank you for being there. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you can't hit the higher notes than this one, and I hope we listen to that. Very succinctly put. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sister, for setting the trend and for setting the pace. And I really appreciate that. And to family here waiting on the platform, this is a very, I tried for advice earlier on. The reason why we don't bring the brother, okay, we'll take this last call. I'll be listening from Holland, and then we will move on. We will hold every other call. Lawyer, you are here with me. Yeah. Hello, caller. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
My name is Janet. I call for the Netherlands, Holland.
Okay, Janet, whose contribution will you make to the program, please?
Well, I made a contribution for Adebayor program because we all in Holland here. And I made a call for accused man by you. But anyway, I just want to contribute. The Dutch government, they have 27 years, Holland. So, I'm a Dutch citizen, and the Dutch people not got no connection with Sierra Leone government. And the Dutch citizen take care of a lot of Sierra Leoneans in Holland. Which the government of Sierra Leone not got no contribution what they do with Holland. So your contribution here for set fire for care and go na salo. They not there for poor people. You're not to America, you're not to England. You're not to America, you're not to England. You're not the Dutch Netherlands. So we love them a lot. It's different with the Americans love them. It's different with the British love them. Even the Interpol loves them. Now the Dutch country is different. Because Adebayor na asile it can ask. Now refugee and what is So if Adebayor offend the government, they're going to protect them. They're not just going to give Adebayor gift. Adebayor already will try to make the government of Dutch government protect them more. Because this name on the even an commander will come to before of the Dutch government for give Adebayor more. So no, it's not possible.
Okay, Sister Janet, please listen. You've made your point, and your point is clearly made and is understood because I can capture, what you try to say that it's not possible for them they can extradite Adebayor from Holland to Salon. Of course, that is your opinion that day, but we just try to establish and when they talk, then they say, then they go take them from the camp. That's I want for them people to capture. You see, if people accept when they support Adebayor, listen, they will learn a lot from this. This is not the point where I want their people to listen to. We take one last call, Sister Janet, and then we go. Thank you for your call. Promise to get now 1 hour, and then they go now 1 hour 15 minutes, and don't be very patient. In fact, we'll tell you that the last call is because this person is being insistent, and just make 30 seconds, no more than 30 seconds, 1 minute, and this is not the last call for now. We can move away from there. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Will you state your name? You're live, by the way, so if not on the program, will you state your name, where you're calling from, please, and what you want to say?
Okay, meaning that IB.
IB, you need for turn yourself down. You need for contact 0. Other than that, you interfere with what you talk. Yeah?
Okay, meaning the IB.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Okay. I just want to ask the lawyer, because when they answered the question for the Adebayor, he said another thing for say. But I just want to ask them, let's imagine if they present them, that being clients them. If not being clients them, will you be pleased for them to just go like that without asking the government any question?
Well, it's unfortunate, IB, then present them, not to the lawyer and clients them, and in law, we
No, wait me, please. And that's because waiting here, they asked that. Yeah? Because he's a lawyer, and he's open on law. And you know, like area, and I think they ask, if not being clients, then you could just let one die so without.
No, it will answer the question, he said, well, I understand.
No, as you know, assume it, because in a talk about Adebayor, we want to defend for the government, right? Like, no, not upset. I appreciate it. Okay, I get that point. Let me take you back to the Adebayor issue. Because also Adebayor is the only person with insight when I say linear. Yes. No, because when Adebayor issue for push, what did they count other people like when they incite at the country and they cause harm? Yes, man. No, I will not. Why should I?
Because if you listen, you will learn. If you don't agree, you can say, okay, but listen to what I want to say first.
What did he?
Have you come to listen and then he said, listen to you?
Yeah, I listen. Exactly. I listen to you.
When you talk so, you sound like you did in defense of Adebayor, okay? But when you read now, you implicate Adebayor. You know what you say this now? Now the time comes to your mind.
That's the other opinion. That's why everybody they go and say. What did the lawyer discuss? That the same thing, no? Now because of people they say they incite, that is what they discuss them. Not for that. Yes.
You say not to Adebayor one day.
because that's not what they argue with. So the lawmaker can say that. Because what you know, anyway, they say, because not to remove them out, that we talk about remove cap or talk about incitement, not the fact where we talk about. So no, I'm not. It has been tagged already. Well, it has been tagged. That is not to pull up. They don't tag them already. Listen, please, a man come from Netherlands. He say, you forget this for what you say. Somebody come from the Netherlands. Say, no, what does that mean? So, well, like I said to me, don't mean that. The reason why I said that, because this thing is living a mere soul inside. That's why. Because where the people know the order atrocity and they are moved by day. Why don't you talk about that? No, I'm not talking about the lawyer. The lawyer asked some question. Now you jump in. We not a party person. Now you jump in. The only thing that because what are the media? I'm not satisfied with the objective. We're not the objective. Because now only I never discuss. We understand. But what about that? What is the Apple? No, platform is anything I say. Me just want to tell you in mind. And I cannot go catch the answer you to talk over me all the time.
I can cut you off, you know that, and you just say, but this not to be intention. And it's time for talking, they talk over me. Come on. Okay. You make accusation when not really right. You point to me, point one, I agree with you, and the type of thing of Amina.
I don't think it's Amina because this one they even everybody is.
You point where you make where you say now people by that I mean so at least you can't talk to me on something where they will be physical ground itself. Now I ask you because the way how you look at when I say now they over that I think I ask you, you know say the lawyer will be accused now, he said now over the day. How do you see that? And the question that I want to ask you, but you know the chance, you just take out that fighting spirit. Come on.
Okay, carry on. No, but I'm just about that possible. Well, the question I get for the lawyer is since Adebayor they discuss, what about the people who own Adebayor? Is that a crime?
Yeah, we will come to that good question. And
thank you very much. So you need to talk about the people who own Adebayor. If the right thing if it's a crime as well. No, it's a crime because I feel. Thank you.
That's it, really. I said, it's good that you're closing the line. That's it. So we have to listen. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Let's go. Don't worry.
Right. Yeah. Hello. Okay, I don't need to take any more calls, please. Yeah. End of line. Lawyer Kilo, me?
Yeah.
Okay, I get for of course no apologize for that. But you see our passion can run high and how
I know. I very much understand.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like now, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about jurisdiction quickly because we run out of time because we entertain the calls. Let's talk about jurisdiction quickly in terms of the establishment of waiting make Adebayor liable. Just discuss that quickly. And the absence of treaty or convention between states.
You want to talk about the extradition or jurisdiction?
They all kind of intertwine, you know.
Okay, I don't already explain on which basis Adebayor will be the Dutch government will get jurisdiction.
Yeah.
The Dutch government will get jurisdiction because of presence-based jurisdiction because it in Holland. So if the Salone government able establish, say, it don't commit crimes in a Salone, you understand? If the Salone government go able establish, say, it don't commit terrorist acts in a Salone, then they therefore go through the diplomatic means for me to go see what they go do about them. But it therefore be also convincing that Adebayor don't really commit the crime in a Salone. And also, if a crime were not to crime in a Salone, if a particular action not to crime in a Salone, the Dutch government not go able to do much about them. Because if they charge them with terrorist acts or with service and that, Salone is not get a specific terrorism act law. They get various laws them where like for arson or setting government buildings on fire, all that in the day. These are things that we have different laws in a Salone. But Salone government not get itself, they don't get any terrorism law. So if ever they really get for be very careful, because they go end up Dutch judicial will end up for say this particular crime not to crime in Salone, so not going to try this person. You understand? So now this could come. So more say they establish now say Adebayor don't commit if they establish Adebayor don't commit crime in Salone, and the Dutch government not able try him, then we'll come to extradition. You understand? Because if either you prosecute or you extradite. For the serious crimes, if John Lekabe writes inside the article, if what happened at Salone, not only Adebayor, in fact, all the people that were inside. Even on my Facebook, I said all the people that were affected.
So this goes to the last caller, Ubi Wano.
Yeah.
What about the others? Because
yeah. All me writes what they do. Adebayor will be just a microcosm of the macrocosm, the small of the biggest. You understand? So if you be writing like the last post article I sent to you, the people that already clamor for war in Salone, make them know say there was a special court. And international criminal justice don't get extended arms. Whatever you say on the media, whatever you do, the international community, they watch. So you are the Salone, you are the England, you are the America, or you the insights for make what happened at Salone. They will hold you accountable one fine day. And ICC go ask for your extradition. And wherever you are, there are about 15 countries now in European Union where they practice universal jurisdiction for war crimes. Let me remind you about Jibril Masako. Jibril Masako will be the face of RUF. Now, in the spokesman of RUF. Now, in the principal witness of the special court, Salone. Now, in the use for me the able sentence all the guys they find them convicted all the guys them. They made an agreement. Okay, we'll not get back try you in Salone again because of this that argument. Because now you be now the principal witness and now you do all the information we need. But they're not exclusive. We'll not go try for other crimes or other committed in another country. So
but lawyer Kilo, just because we run out of time, so if you don't mind me for the come in and out, of this.
Yeah.
You see, the examples that you're giving, they sound really extreme because let's be honest, Adebayor not come anywhere close to any of these. Like the way you mentioned, these were clearly crimes against humanity. These were genocide. Mention, Charles Taylor. Charles was a leader who committed, crimes against humanity, and even extend that to another country to a point where today it remained controversial in the sense that Charles Taylor was not held because of the crimes the way he committed in the country. But how does, my question is, you know, yeah, and so we many guests we go like for understand this because we understand that the nature of the law now they try for explain to we the microcosm of the microcosm somebody just put there, which makes we the land. But how does Adebayor come in this? Just by speaking, just by expressing his views, where sometimes you know sound toxic, but how does it equate with these criminals?
People that feel say everybody get rights for say anything within Europe, but there are limitations. Now every constitution that gets limitation clause. Enjoy your rights of freedom, but not violate other people their rights. So if you say you get freedom of speech, and then you propagate hate, you talk about it incites others for me to do something bad, and then something can happen at a large scale. For example, in a salon. Now, so rebel start in a salon. We take it as a joke, and later it went out of hand. So all this thing at the say is, at the try for tell people where they incite, where they induce for me work in a salon. Be careful. The long arm of international criminal law will extend to you. Not only Adebayor in this sense.
So is Adebayor inducing, inciting for their work on a salon, or this not just, you know, yeah, some far-fetched, you know, yeah, kind of thinking or thoughts? Easy. That's what we try to establish.
Yeah, according to most of the video I listen to, largely very great elements of instigating and inducing. So the ICC itself go, or if ever anything go beyond that, everything go more than that, and the government decide for triumph. I hope it not will happen. One will kind of salon because we know our war again. If ever thing like that happen at salon, they go hold people that accountable, not only Adebayor. That is what I'm trying to say. Let us don't instigate or induce for may work camp.
Yeah, I mean that's a good message, sir, and it goes to a very lot of people. But when you talk about something very serious here, we involve a particular individual. I mean, we'll go move away from there soon so that we go talk about the president's speech within the context of security, and part of which we will talk about. But Lawyer Konuwah, I want to you deal with this because when you talk about liability under international criminal law. And how this particular one applied to the subject matter, especially within the Dutch criminal law where you study. And I think so you give it different levels. Yeah, go on, please.
Because the Dutch Criminal Law Act, now exactly from the Rome Statute they take up.
Okay.
So if you induce or attempt for induce, if you instigate or attempt for instigate, you understand?
Yeah.
Other people for commit a crime, or you na accessory to a crime, or you na the real perpetrator, they go hold you liable under international criminal law. So if things went out of hand, and then a war break out in a salon,
this now in my points, lawyer Konuwah. You seem for the suggest, you know, something, you know, hypothetical, something like a science fiction into the future if things were to break out. And we clearly understand that. But even if that were the case, how does Adebayor fit in this particular category? I hope that you understand my point, because you see, you need a prosecutor now, because apparently there is nothing for you hold them on right now, other than waiting they say. But you suppose if things were to break out, then obviously culpability lie in certain places there, and he's one of them. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, because for the past how many maybe 1 year or so, the audios the way it is sent. We see that they happen in Rwanda. We see happen in some other countries. Where you send audio or you send video, you tell people there. Now when I sit down, when I get for rise, when I get for do something, when I do this, these are all instigating. It is under international law jurisprudence. And the influence, Adebayor had a lot of influence of the youth.
Yeah, you
call the courts get for take that all into consideration.
So you are right, but for the benefit of time again, are you saying that the government is not aware? Because what you are saying, Lawyer Kilo, is assuming, you know, yeah, that Adebayor was right and the army was wrong and the government is right, sure enough, the government will have taken, you know, yeah, some kind of action now.
Exactly. And so let's come to this extradition people they talk about.
Yes, please.
Extradition law is different from extradition treaty.
Right.
So look at an extradition law of 1977, Extradition Act. These are just process and procedure. How to go about if they ask you for extradite somebody or if they extradite somebody in a country, but not to a treaty between any countries. So as far as the Dutch law is concerned, there is no way the Dutch government will extradite Adebayor Nasalon. One, there is